Talk about democracy dying in darkness. Over the summer, we warned you about the Biden administration releasing thousands of migrants throughout the country in the dead of night. Now, newly uncovered video shows federal contractors discussing the secret flights, warning that the whole operation needs to be kept under wraps, and then explicitly saying they don't want to alert the media. That's us.
You don't want to be somewhere where the spotlight is there. You want to try to keep it as down low as possible. A lot of this is just
no, I get it. I just, like I said,
stuff that we don't tell people because what we don't want to do is attract attention. We don't want the media.
Yeah.
Like we don't even know where we're going when they tell us.
And those same contractors not mincing words about who's to blame for the secret flights.
I get the whole secrecy and all this but this is even above my thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
And why? You know why?
You know why?
Yeah, I know, but why? Yeah.
That's why. Come on.
No, but what's the big secret? Everybody knows it's happening.
You know why? Because if it gets out, the government's betraying the American people.
Oh, filthy language. Reminds me of you, Dana. Jesse, here's another instance where if we point out that there is a crisis, it is dismissed because the media is always going to dismiss anything that comes out of our mouths, right? But we knew this was happening. We saw this happening. It sounded idiotic. It's like, how could this happen? There it is.
Not only if we point it out, they'll dismiss it, they'll call us racist for pointing it out.
Right, yeah.
So he's now taking unvaxxed, unvetted people. He's flying them to New York, where now they can vote in local elections. They can go to college on my dime, right? They can work cash, drive down wages, and then they can hold up a liquor store with a gun, and then they'll only be charged with a misdemeanor, and then they can't be deported because it's a sanctuary situation. That's where we are right now. Yep. And the media will not report that. Right. If you had said this is happening 10 years ago, no one would have ever believed it, but that's where we are. We have a Hyde Amendment, which says taxpayer money can't go to fund abortions. Why don't we have an amendment so taxpayer money can't fund human smuggling? Because this is a Democrat human smuggling operation. I don't see any other way to look at it. Is there an alliance between Joe Biden and the cartels? Well, they asked the same question about Trump and Russia, and there was no evidence. Well, now there's a lot of evidence that they're working together
this is foreign
to smuggle people into the country. For what? Why? Why would they do that?
If it's for voting, then it's foreign interference in our elections.
In our elections, Greg, this is an attack on democracy.
Exactly.
I'm just asking questions. Maybe
slow-rolling insurrection.
Let's tell Joe Biden he's president of Ukraine. Maybe then he'll defend the border.
There you go. Judge, where do you know the particulars of this stuff? Like, where are the migrants going? Like, when they land, where do they go?
Okay, I heard about this last spring in Westchester County. They were dropping them off at the Westchester County Airport. And I heard from some of the police there, and I just spoke to another one of my sources who said, this has been going on since April all the way through November. Most of them are adult males, single. They have a few kids. The buses show up, and they take them to all over New York State, to Long Island. They follow these buses to Connecticut, to New Jersey, to other states in addition.
Where do they drop them off, though? Halfway houses?
Well, they drop them off at Costco in Portchester, okay, in Westchester County, and then they drop them off to other people who end up picking them up. These kids are now in schools all over the country. Yeah. Schools now have to hire new teachers, taking away time from American kids. But here is the question. What is Joe Biden trying to accomplish? Why is he doing this at night? Why is he doing this to us? Why is he allowing people with criminal records and then saying, well, I've analyzed these records and it's only assault, drunk driving, drug offenses. So I want these people vetted. I want to know who's a pedophile, who's a drug dealer, who drives drunk, who beats his wife, who thinks it's okay to have sex with his kid. I want to know who these people are. But you know what? The Democrats don't believe in law and order. So here is a perfect example of what they're doing to destroy this country.
So, Geraldo, if this was a good plan, why, if there's nothing wrong with this, why is it being done at night? Why the non-transparency?
I think there's something deeply wrong with it. I think that the lack of transparency is very substantive. And I think what it shows is the absolute dysfunction in the Department of Homeland Security. To answer your question, where do they go? Generally speaking, they go to sponsor families. They're not just dropped in front of markets. When you look, you never see these Mexican guys and the Hondurans as the homeless people in America.
You're right.
They're not.
You're right.
What you do is you see them washing the dishes, picking the crops, the meat packing, the pork processing, the lawn mowing, the babysitting. You know, it's. I know it's outrageous.
This is what
it is. And
we
I
love
hate
them,
that
though.
they sneak it.
All we want is a process. We want law and order.
I agree with you.
I love hardworking people coming here.
The problem is that when they do something like this, it leads to the monsterization, the demonization of this population. And I think it's unfortunate. I just want to say one thing very quickly. There's more than 1 million Mexican descendants here undocumented, illegally in the New York metropolitan area. More than 1 million. You never hear about them when it comes to crime. You never do. Why is it? They're riding the bicycles, delivering the pizzas. They're in the diner washing the dishes. They're very industrious. I just wish the Department of Homeland Security would be honest, let the world know what the hell is going on, finish the damn border wall, get some order so this population is not continually, demonizes the
we New Yorkers benefit from this while all the border states are getting screwed. So it's like we sit from so far away, Dana, going, hey, I guarantee a lot of my meals are being delivered by illegal aliens. It's easy, it's fast, but I'm not in a border state who has to deal with all of this chaos.
And also, like, in the schools and the hospitals in particular. One thing that's really interesting, what you're saying, Geraldo, is, especially for me, I could be for some pretty strong immigration reforms. And allowing more legal immigration in the country. But what President Biden has done is he's made that conversation so much harder.
He has.
Because you have to have this conversation first.
Right.
I mean, we all knew that this was sort of happening. You heard about it. But when you see the video really does focus the mind on all sorts of things. And we've seen that play out over and over again. The other thing that happened today, the administration said that they will never release a report about the migrants who were whipped by the Horse Patrol.
Yes.
At Border Patrol. And again, a lack of transparency, a lack of a willingness to say we were wrong.
Yeah.
And again, it just exacerbates the distrust. And there's a ton of distrust between the Border Patrol workers, the agents and everybody that supports them, and this administration. And we saw that with Secretary Mayorkas was in Yuma, Arizona yesterday, and one of the guys there just turned his back on him.
Yeah. You can see, though, why they're being non-transparent. The most transparent event of Biden's presidency was Afghanistan. And we saw that. Mm-hmm. They don't want us to see how incompetent and chaotic they really are. They do it late at night, and they insult us by thinking we're too dumb to find out. Was it the New York Post that found out?
Yeah, and then if they release the report that says the border agents on the horses are clean, then the far-left kooks are going to go crazy.
Yeah, so they have to just kill it.
Because they have to kill it.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.